Hello everyone, and thank you so much for enrolling in this course. I want to take just a few minutes here to go over the course curriculum. So welcome to this free course on the Gemini Python API. It's really meant just to be a quick start guide to using the Python API for the latest Gemini AI model from Google. Before you continue on through the course, please keep in mind a few things. One is the prerequisites on the landing page. So we're not going to teach you absolutely everything from scratch. There are some experience requirements. Basically, you should understand some basic Python, like the ability to create your own functions and understand things like how to install libraries using pip install. Keep in mind, you'll also need a Gmail or a Google account to actually create your API access key, and that may be limited in certain countries. So I just want to point that out now. Of course, that could change in the future, but keep in mind, certain countries are restricted on creating things like a Gemini API key. That's really outside of our control. That has more to do with Google. I also want to note that in order to keep this course free, we are limited to only 2 hours. So we're not going to be able to cover absolutely everything you can do with this model, but we are going to try our best to give you a really great head start using this course. So what are we going to cover in this course? First, we're going to give you a very high-level overview of understanding how large language models, or LLMs, work, and we're going to dive in slightly deeper than most other courses so that you can understand how the probability distribution and sampling of tokens works, because that's going to be important when we talk about configuration parameters later on. And then in the lecture after understanding LLMs, we'll show you how to obtain API access. Again, keep in mind that certain countries are blocked from using Gemini. So then we have our text generation section of the course. Here we cover a couple things, just general text generation. So if you provide a prompt, how do you get some output out? Then we'll discuss the Gemini Pro's capability to create chat models where you have an ongoing message between the user and the model and can access history of that chat. And then we'll talk about configuration parameters. So if you've heard about things like the temperature of a model or using things like top K or top P, we'll go over those configuration parameters and how to best use them along with a little bit of prompt engineering to adjust the model's outputs so you can get exactly what you want out of the Gemini model. Then we'll have a quick discussion about the vision version of the model and multimodal inputs. It's actually pretty straightforward. You just need to know how to read in an image, and then you can provide an image to Gemini along with text for multimodal input, so you can actually get the Gemini model to use that image to perform actions. For example, we're going to send it a picture of our refrigerator and then ask it questions like, make me a recipe from what you see in this picture of my refrigerator, or let me know, do I need to buy tomatoes at the grocery store based off this picture of my fridge. And then we'll end the course with a really interesting topic known as RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is where we really take advantage of the model's capabilities to perform embeddings, and then we can use that with our own documents to create a vector store in order to use our own documents and inject them straight into our query into Gemini without the need for something like fine-tuning. It's a really clever idea, and I'm excited to show it to you towards the end of the course. With that being said, I'm so grateful that you've enrolled, so let's get started. I'll see you at the next lecture.